Every team seems to have one player or prospect that everything seems to just go right for. For most of this season for the Avs, that was Conor Timmins. Timmins was drafted with the 32nd overall pick, the first pick of the second round in the 2017 draft for the Avalanche, and at first, things didn't look all that amazing with him after joining the Avs. He was touted as a first round talent, but struggled in the summer showcase and also had some defensive issues at the Avalanche rookie tournament. Of course, in training camp, the Avs still gave Timmins quite a good look, including 2 preseason games where he showed very well and showed some of that offensive talent that pushed him so close to the first round. After being sent back to his junior team, the Sioux Greyhounds, it was coming up all aces for Timmins. He was a point per game player right from the get-go. While not all of his points were amazing, he did score many big-time points and came in clutch often for the Sioux. Where he really started to separate himself from the pack was at the World Junior Championships. He was given a bit of a different role, more of a defensive assignment, expected to play big minutes and shut down other teams. Not only did he succeed at that, he scored 5 points in 7 games, including the gold medal winning assist, and it was a pretty one too. Timmins did run into some injury issues after the WJC, but that didn't stop him from signing his ELC with the Avs. He would return from that injury just before the end of the season and pick up right where he left off, scoring 2 goals and 4 assists in the last 4 games of the regular season. Once again, in the playoffs, Timmins was tasked with a bit more of a defensive role, but he still put in offensive work as well, scoring 18 points in 23 playoff games, including Game 1 of the conference finals, where he would score 2 goals in the third period, 1 to tie it with less than 10 minutes left, and 1 to win it in the final seconds of the game. Timmins and the Sioux seemed to be destined for the Memorial Cup, but in the OHL finals in Game 5, Timmins ended up taking a hit where it would end up giving him a concussion. He would not play in Game 6, and without Timmins, the Greyhounds would fall in the finals. Now, this concussion has been a bit of an issue for Timmins. It kept him out of the Avs development camp this year. However, it sounds like a lot of it was just precautionary, and to be honest, I don't think it's that big of a deal at this point. What really set Timmins apart this year was his versatility for not only the Sioux, but Team Canada. He was able to add offense when called upon regularly, but when he needed to transition to a more defensive game, he did so. On the season, Timmins had 8 goals and 33 assists for 41 points for the Sioux in 36 regular season games. On top of that, he had the 18 points in 23 playoff games and 5 points in 7 WJC games. With all of that, I'm going to give Timmins a B+ on the season. While those numbers are definitely gaudy, and Timmins certainly earned them, at times it felt like he was getting a few cheap points, especially with the Sioux. The strong offensive forward core they had really gave him some easy secondary assists at times. Beyond that, he still has a good amount of work to do on his skating. At times that cost him defensively, and you could see him struggle with it and even get a little bit lost in the defensive zone because of it. With those negatives said, he still had an extremely strong season, and that's why I gave him a B+. That and the fact that he just seems to have the Midas touch. I'm very excited to see what Timmins will bring at the professional level in the AHL this year, and hopefully he can continue the trajectory he's on and continue to put up very important points. That is the end of this player's season review. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more of Timmins and all of his highlights from this season, you can check them out up there. I decided not to do a video on the Avalanche development camp because I thought the podcast covered it pretty well. If you want to check that out, it is linked down below. I'm Rudo3, and even though there's not any real Avalanche hockey for the next 2 months, I've got you covered with a ton of season reviews coming up.